What's up YouTube, Cap over here and welcome to the Cap side. Today I've got another preseason battle with Jello, aka Potato Jello, not jelly as some might say. So he's the owner of the Trojan Walls, and that's plural. There's multiple walls that I have to go through. As you can see on his team, they're very scary, very bulky, and very real. So with that, I'm going to bring in my Chandler, Steelix, Swallow, Minxiao, Gudra, and this is my debut of Quagsire, aka Quagsire. I did not nickname him. Usually I do that, but I think I got a bit sloppy and forgot to nickname him. And I saw his team and I didn't know who he would start off with. It baffled me, and I figured I should lead off with my Chandler as it has the best coverage on every single guy, and it would put me at a really good position. So I do lead off with my Chandler, and we'll see over here that he actually leads off with Swampert, which is perfect, so perfect. And my Chandler can just go for an energy ball. No point of overprotecting the first turn, as this energy ball will do, some might say nothing, some might say chump change. I'll say it was a tickle. That's what it was. It was a tickle. And I'll just switch on out. I'm like, you know what, Chandler, this is not your fight to win. You gotta pick your fights. So this Pokemon actually does get a toxic, or this Swallow gets toxic, and that's perfect as it activates my guts. And I'll get my guts activated. He'll recover some HP, and I'm looking pretty good here. I'm pretty happy at my position as he protects. I'm like, you know what, that's fine. That's okay. That's good in the hood, yo. That's perfect. And over here, I predicted he would switch out just because why would he want to take a Facade, Guts, Burn, or Poisoned Stab Facade to the face, as he predicts me to stay in. I might have overpredicted as I go into Steelix. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Perfect time to use perfect time to go get some rocks on the field, because what person enjoys stepping on rocks, and what Pokemon enjoys taking rock damage? So that's what I figured. That's my logic. As once again he brings out his Umbreon, another defensive, bulky, scary Pokemon, and I'm like, you're cursing, so now you're becoming even bulkier. So I decided we should play a game of musical chairs, because you know what, that's I'm like, Umbreon, you're too scared, you gotta get on out of here. Just get on out. I do get the crit, but still, it's a bulky Pokemon, too scary. As Mr. Bombastic, boom, you gotta say it like that because it adds the extra emphasis on the boom. As he goes for the flamethrower, I figured he would do that, as I do have the sturdy, I do live it on one, I endured the hit. Way to go, Solid Snake. You're just gonna go for the Dragon Tail. At this point, I figured Noivern doesn't really have a lot of switch ins to come into, just because of Stealth Rock. He has no defogger, and we keep on playing this game of musical chairs, as I'm just gonna keep on dragon tailing. That's something. And he's just gonna go set up the rain dance. I'm like, you know what, man, you can dance in your rain, you can splash in your puddles. I'm stainless steel. I don't know if I do enjoy that, but it does make me rust a bit, so I'm a bit grumpy. So let's play once again. Switch this guy on out of here, and once again we're back to square one. Umbreon comes on out, and I'm like, this is unfortunate. He sees the game I'm playing, and he's like, I gotta take out this Solid Snake because we could play this all day, as he's gonna keep on going for Dragon Tails. As he finally pays me back for my games, which will take me down, but Steelix does leave a little parting gift, and Steelix did quite a lot of did some work, considering he only had 1 HP for the longest time. So it's really good on Solid Snake's part, as Ramachan will make way on the field. And at this point, my Ramachan is Choice Banded, and a high jump kick will do a lot of damage to anything that comes onto this field. So it isn't much of a prediction, as more I'm going to click on this attack, and it's going to do a lot of damage. And just to add some salt to the wound, it's a crit. That's right. Ramachan does not care at all. I could have gone for another high jump kick here, but I didn't want to do that, as I do need Ramachan to take out the Blissey. That Blissey. As I figured Raspberry, this is what he does. This is his role on the team, to take up those air slashes, which does quite a bit of damage. And he eats it up quite well. So, and once again, this Blissey comes on through, and I didn't predict anything, as this Blissey will take this so good. Blissey's are way too bulky, and rightfully belonging to a team that is named Trojan Walls. So make sure whenever you go against a Trojan Wall, you don't go against a Blissey, because you're not going to go anywhere if it's a special attack. As this thing's going to toxic me, now I have to be pretty careful, because I do need this Rambutan to take down this Blissey. If I go for a high jump kick now, I could potentially, or he's going to protect, and I could get recoil damage. I will get recoil damage, and then he could switch on out and I could miss or not take it out. So I didn't want to risk that. It wasn't the right time to make those kind of risks. And I'm not a gambling man. Not right now. Not right now. Little spoiler. And I just go for the U-turn. Lock myself into U-turn so I can switch on out of here and get something in my favor. So get on out of there. As over here he makes a really good prediction, predicting my Swellow to come on through, or he just wants to get some damage off of Rambutan. As he goes for the Ice Beam, and Nightgale doesn't enjoy ice to the face. Who does? Who does? When it's a snowy day, you don't enjoy snowflakes going to your face. So I do take the poison damage, but I do live on 2. Now Nightgale is living on the skin of its flesh. So I figured, you know what, Nightgale, you're gonna make some good free switching in, as Quagsire will come on through, predicting the protect, as I could have gone for attack and do no damage and lost Nightingale, so I didn't think that was worth it. My Quagsire, however, does wall this thing, and Quagsire makes his debut with a boom. Actually, he makes his debut with a substitute. He's like, you know what? This is a lot of pressure. This is too much. This is too much too soon. So he puts up a decoy and sets up the substitute. That's right. Quagsire is just going to switch on out of there for a while, just for the decoy. He's going to take a sit on the sidelines, and over here I reveal I'm the Water Absorb Quagsire, which I'll take that, the delicious water. Quagsire is feeling a bit dehydrated after that huge announcement that he was debuting, and he was just sweating and stuff. That's right. Quagsires do sweat. They do. So you gotta cut him a little slack. So he goes for the Icy Wind, and unfortunately for Quagsire, his first hit, he gets a crit, and the sub will fade out. I'll just go for an Earthquake, and they'll turn into a situation of where I'll substitute Hill's Icy Wind, Skull, or substitute, Earthquake, substitute, Earthquake, substitute, Earthquake. And I was okay with that, because at that point I could win this battle of attrition, just because my sub will just put me in a good situation that I want to be in. So I'm gonna recover those lefties. At this point I'm at a really good position. Quagsire is putting in the work, making his debut worthwhile, as he goes for another Icy Wind, and we'll see over here it does not take out my sub, so that's really awesome. Quagsire has his sub for another turn, and this is a really long battle. When it was in real time, I think we were at 20 minutes at this point, and I was feeling a bit fatigued in the mine, and instead of just going for the safe substitute, I decided I just go for the Earthquake. I didn't want to see this thing. It would have gone down to poison damage, and thankfully it wasn't the rest, sleep talk kind of Suicune set, and it does go down. So Quagsire takes out a really bulky Pokemon, and it's looking pretty good on his debut. So Quagsire, you're putting in quite the note for MVP, as Mr. Bombastic will come on through but die to rock damage. So just saying, Quagsire, he's just, whoa, he stumbled a bit and tripped on too many rocks. So Mr. Bombastic will take a seat. As this Nidoking comes on through, and I'm like, you know what, King? You know what, Nidoking? You're a scary fella. You scare me, you Game of Thrones looking Pokemon. And he goes for the Ice Beam. I figure I'd Death Fodder my Nightingale just because my Gudra doesn't want, or none of my Pokemon want to take a hit from Nidoking, and I can get my Chandelure in safely, as I can go for a Flamethrower, knock it down to a little bit of HP, and I'll just simply go down to an Earth Crumbling. So this fella is putting in the finest of work. Mr. Nidoking here, little Game of Thrones action going on, but as we know in Game of Thrones, you don't last long in an episode, so Nidoking will finally go down. Sorry. That's how the viewers want it. I didn't ask for it. They did. Sorry. I'll send you a note and some flowers and some candy. So you'll be back. Don't you worry. So I'll send in my Quagsire as 2 of his walls are left on the field, which is the Blissey and the Umbreon. And these guys will scare me. So he's just gonna go for a Toxic. Figure he could stall me out with Soft Boil and all those shenanigans, but I also talked to him. I'm like, you know what, we can play this game. Quagsire is all about this. He's done the waiting game, and I'll tell you a story later on about how long can Quagsire wait for, just because. So I'm gonna get my lefties, and at this point, I do know that I have to bring in my Rambutan into the battle, or else this would turn not in my favor. So I'm like, you know what, come on back. He has to Soft Boil or face the wrath of my Quagsire, which can do an Earthquake. So once again, it wasn't in his favor, and I knew this was a perfect time to switch on Rambutan, as Rambutan will only take poison damage, and Blissey will be at full health, but the poison damage is a thing, and it will add up. Not by a lot, but it's some damage. So I knew over here he was going to go for the Protect. Blissey was going to protect herself, and I've missed my high jump kick, getting half damage. And at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling lucky today. Let's play some luck. He can't get the double protect, and I have to hit this high jump kick, because you know what? Rambutan put on his lucky sash and curled his mustache a bit. He's feeling an extra lucky. Brought his lucky rabbit's leg. So I'm like, all right, all for the mouse. It missed. It failed, and I land my high jump kick. That bit of speech was a bit off. He fails. So Rambutan does get the kill, and that's really awesome. That's 1 wall down, and I wanted to ensure that I didn't miss, and I could, if I did miss my high jump kick, it wouldn't cost me the game. So I'm like, you know what, come on back. This Umbreon is probably going to pull off its cursed shenanigans, just because that's his last resort. As we see, it's got the Moonlight, so that's a free switch in for me, but I'm just going to Toxic this guy just because I have 3 Pokemon left. One of them is being this Quagsire, the MVP of today's match. And it's going to turn into, I get some poison damage, he's going to get some poison damage, he's going to curse, I'm going to attack, and I'll tell you a little story on how I met this Quagsire. So this Quagsire I found when I was walking across, Celadon City or somewhere around there. I don't remember, but he was staring at a wall, and I'm like, yo Quagsire, why are you staring at the wall? And Quagsire just ignored me, and I was like, whoa, why? And he once again ignored me, rightfully so. And this Quagsire just stared at the wall for days and days and nights and days and nights. And I'm like, yo Quagsire, you trying to make that wall faint? And Quagsire looked at me with a blank face, nodded, and then continued staring at it once again. And after a couple days and nights, the wall started to crumble a bit. And I looked, and I was like, Quagsire, what is this patience you have in you? You can take down walls. And finally, one day, one eventful day, Quagsire took down that wall just by staring at it. That's right. Just pure focus and persistence. Because when you stare at a wall for that long, you can take down anything that you stare at. So it shows you how hard you have to work to take down something when it's a big object and really just a real rock in your pathway. You just gotta rock smash that thing, take it down. And Quagsire was the Pokemon that I'm like, you know what, Quagsire, you've got this amazing ability to take down walls. Why don't you join my team? And that's how Quagsire came onto this team, just because I knew he could take down walls. So with that, with that end of the story, I do believe it's coming to an end of the battle, and I'll tell you what my plan was this whole time. I figured this Quagsire was going to go down, but the Umbreon had to be at a certain amount of HP where poison damage will rack up. There we go. Will rack up, and where I can fake out and let the Umbreon faint. So Quagsire's main purpose here was to wither the Umbreon down, but not let it get a Moonlight off. And as we see over here, he kept on cursing, as this thing is really defensive, and it could take me down in one hit, any point of the match. So over here, I'll see how much damage this this poison damage will do. Plus, I will get some extra damage. Oh, I'll just go down to poison. Never mind. I'll just go down to poison, and we'll see how much damage this poison will do. And I see that I'm perfectly happy with all of that damage. So I'm just gonna go for a fake out here, and finally this Umbreon will go down thanks to flinching and poison damage at any point in this match. Right now. Right now. So Quagsire and Rambutan both teamed up to take down Jello. Really good battle, really awesome. You played to your strength, and you played to the book on what your Pokemon did. It was really awesome to see, and it was a really good battle, because in real time it took about 40 minutes, and you had to be really mentally strong, mentally strong, because he brought in some odd Pokemon that I've never seen have that set before, and you have to really play off of those predictions. So really good battle, and I look forward to the RBL with you. So subscribe, like, comment, do any of those things. I'm not the boss of you. And you guys enjoy your day, and this is Cap signing out. I opt for Envy to take off his choice scarf, as you know, Envy's got the hat and the scarf is just too much. He's looking way too hipster.
You know, it seemed like I had the upper hand there, but then he did, and then now we're here, and I don't even know what's gonna happen.